Good morning. Oh, I forgot to turn the light on. There we go. Lighting. It's got to be perfect. Hello. All right. Get that out of the way. Get some notes ready. All right. So, all right. I think I'm good. All right. Well, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swan Medium. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Tripping over my own words. Must be the leftovers. Hey, Dana. Must be the leftover uh, alcohol from last night. Not that I had any. Hmm. Hopefully, everybody had a great St. Patty's Day. Let me know if you guys went out and did anything or if you just hung out. Kind of curious. I mean, I stayed in, but that was okay. I preferred that because I was able to, drink what I needed to do and, not have to worry about much. So, hey, Dinah. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Sophie. Yeah, Sophie. Yep, doing a lot better. Yeah, I slowly, been getting back into the things now. So this is like now over a week, yeah, something like that. Well, basically about two. It'll be like 2 weeks, like on Monday or something like that. That I've been feeling a lot, better. So I haven't started drinking. Burnt myself. Oh, geez, Dana, burnt yourself. What'd you do that for? Busy week. Yep, right. Margaret staying home. Yep. Get you. Yep. That's it. I mean, it's always interesting is when you get some of these holidays that, do fall on a Friday, and because even like 4th of July or something like that, when those happen on a Friday or Saturday, it could get pretty wild. But that's okay. Obviously it happens, every so many years, you get the, uh, dates to fall on, at the perfect day a week, just like all our birthdays and things and stuff. And accidentally placed a holy smokes. Well, Dana, that whew, maybe you should have started drinking to numb the rest of it. Hey, Debbie. Dana had a quiet day at home. Oh, that's true, Dana. Yeah, that's good. Quiet day at home. Laundry. Hey, Dinah, that's okay too. I mean, you know what? Because you get it done, then you kind of freeze up your weekend a little bit more, right? So it's kind of how I try to function a little bit is get as much done as you can. That way you can open up more time later on. Because obviously last minute stuff can bite us all in the what. So hey, Melody, good morning. But yeah, no, I mean it was pretty cool. I mean, like I said, we just hung out. Was For a while I was blasting a lot of Irish and Scottish music for a little bit, and then it was kind of progressing into more modern things last night. But even then, I have several bands that I followed that do kind of like a more rock style rock Irish music kind of thing, as you want to call it. So we was playing a bunch of that, and then just kind of having fun, singing, just having a good time, because it was a hey Nikki, good morning. Because it was a rough day. I mean, it was a rough morning. Hey Sharon, good morning. Hey Jen, good morning. Yeah, my morning was a little rough. It was, what was supposed to be a simple service job at work ended up taking 4.5 hours, and even then we didn't get it completed. So thank you, Debbie. That's why I put it on there, kind of goes with the topic a little bit. But yeah, no, I had to I won't get too nerdy on everybody because like I said, you guys, most of you, might remember and stuff because I don't talk about it, a whole lot because I don't want to bore you guys with that. But my day job, I do conference room support and service. So, we make sure that the equipment is usable for, the people to have their meetings. And so there was everybody knows what a classic internet cable, and I'm not even going to give you the technical term for it, which I would love to, but I don't want to bore you. but the classic internet cable that you plug in somehow broke and wasn't working, and so we had to have the trades do the um, run the cable through the flooring and everything because that's out of our scope. We can't do that because that's a little bit more it just falls out of our realm. So, but they put this cable in there that was it was a right cable, but it was the wrong cable. And it was just a nightmare. So we were trying to do things, and I was having to terminate the ends, which is a nerd term. Basically, put the ends of the internet cable, on, and they didn't do that, which was kind of shocking. So I spent a couple hours trying to do this, and then I made a couple mistakes because I haven't terminated cables in a while, especially internet cables. And my fingers started getting painful because of all the tedious work and cutting, and even sliced my finger at one point, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And so yeah, it was kind of a frustrating morning. As much work as we tried to put into this, and we had to keep taking a TV on and off the wall a few times. So because I had some coworkers there too that had to help with it, and it was crazy. And so we didn't even realize that much time disappeared. But yeah, it was wild. So yeah, so I was excited to get home last night because again, it was just Mondays and Fridays are usually our slowest days, but for some odd reason, we always get crazy stuff that happens at work, and then we're having to deal with it, and it's just like you just kind of grab your head and just want to go crawl under a hole kind of thing. But so yeah, but they had that a few times this week where there's just little things going on, and but it works out. Hey Tanya, good morning. But yes, so but hopefully everybody had a good time yesterday, or if you're continuing the party, to tonight, hopefully you enjoy it, be safe. I started drinking my coffee earlier. Well, this is the third cup of the day, but I was trying to hold off until I had one for the show. So I've been done. I Last one I had was like before 7, or excuse me, by yeah, after 7. Um, so I'm already halfway through this cup, which is rare because normally I'm barely a quarter of the way into a cup, and then I'm like, I got to basically iced coffee by the end of the show. So, but but yeah, so but other than that, oh, there you go, Dana. Cool. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Have a drink for me. That'd be cool. um, but yeah, I wanted to talk because, like I do, I try to talk a little bit about what happened this week. Gave it a little bit of a go this week of trying to ease back into a few things, and so I got a couple remote views under my belt this week. So it was exciting to kind of get back into things a little bit. Like I said, I was just kind of testing the waters, making sure I'm okay, and it was a little fuzzy. Some of the remotes were a little fuzzy, but you know some of that's kind of normal too. Because even if you do it, daily or constantly, you know, the information shows up how it shows up, especially when you're doing a remote view. Sometimes only certain things are going to be more prevalent in front of you, and then others are just kind of like transparent and almost invisible in the background. So it's kind of different. But I knew that when I did the first one, uh, things just seemed a little bit more well, fuzzy, a little bit more hazy, which that's not a big deal. I mean, because I could still make out details and things, and I was still able to obtain a lot of information because that one was for an actual particular case, and it was not in our country. So like I said, that was long overdue for me to get that one in. But that was kind of fun because there was a lot of interesting things that when this team actually goes to the location to finally do their investigation on site, I think it's going to be fun to see what they pick up on, what evidence they collect. And so I'll be excited to hear when they finally get that situated and scheduled. So I know they've been kind of holding back a little bit for me, which is kind of nice, and I appreciate the patience for it because obviously, not feeling good for basically 2 full weeks in a way, and then now that it's been almost 2 weeks since then of feeling better. It's just yeah, it's crazy. I mean, but you know. Things happen for a reason. I talk about it. So many other people agree with it and preach the same thing that, there's just times where, it's just not meant to be. And I've gotten used to the aspect of because it's, it happens a little bit more often. At least I notice it more instead of just pushing through it like I used to. I try to acknowledge it, and I don't feel bad about, saying, well, I can't do this right now, or I can't do your reading today, or whatever the situation is. And I don't feel bad about it anymore, which is a good thing for me, because obviously being empathic, and anybody that is truly empathic, you can feel it tear you apart when, you have to say no to something, or you have to cancel something, or reschedule something. Situations happen, but then again, when it's for you personally, your mental state to want to do the best you can for your client, and whatever the situation or the case that you're working on. So yeah, it's I'm getting more and more used to it. It's taken several years to finally, like, I'm okay. I mean, I'm all right. Like I said, it sucks to say, can't do it, but at the same time, it's also, good for me to kind of keep an eye on myself, and obviously, I still make mistakes, and I still push sometimes, and then I regret it. And I'm like, well, I was just thinking I could just do a little bit more, and then it doesn't work out. But that's the way it goes. And but I tried to focus a little bit more, so that way it's easier on me. Because yeah, like I said, it's a the that's why it's always tough for when people ask, I want to do this. I want to, do mediumship. I want to, it's a big, I mean, we all can do it. I've talked about that before. But it's a big decision, because you got to remember everything else is going to start changing. The way you, I mean, changing in the sense that you're going to have things that you didn't notice before are going to be a little bit more in front of you. Like this, like physically, I can do things, you know what I mean? I can keep going, I can push through things, and stuff. But then it's like mentally, when you're trying to do this type of work, there's a lot of mental aspect to it, and if that's not, even though your body might be ready, could do it, but you're mentally not there, which can happen at anything. It doesn't just have to be, metaphysical, holistic type of things. But when you have, uh, shifted that, um, y it's such you have to be so much more aware. That way, you're protecting yourself, so you're not in a state of, you know because I'm backing way up. I mean, there's years ago, probably maybe 3, 4 years ago, definitely before the pandemic, I would push a lot, and I would try to schedule things, and I would try to get a lot done. And it would be because I'd come home from work, and I'm exhausted from that already, but then I'd be like jumping into, doing a reading, or prepping for one that's going to be, in a few hours, or, doing a remote view for a case or something, whether it's a solo case, whether it's with the team or somebody else's team. I was just pushing, and realized that it'd get to the point where I would, essentially fall down, but not so much from a physical aspect, from a mental aspect, that it's like you did run a marathon, but imagine being out of breath, but at the same time, it's really your brain and everything, your soul is just done, you know. But yeah, it's just wild that when you go down this path and you start this journey, you just have to be ready for a lot of that stuff. And that's the thing I think people just can't. It's hard to, that's why I try to talk about it. I try to show you um that it's not all, fabulous things all the time. There is aspects, and me trying to still push that positive stuff every day. It's why, like, when I get opportunities to take those photos, and you guys see those photos, that lifts me up just as much as I hope it lifts all you up, just to, share that. I mean, I talked about that, but the whole thing of finding everything to keep yourself going, to keep yourself motivated, and then to have those breaks of, like, seeing, the pictures, or taking pictures, and that's a moment where I can block everything else out, because I just can stare at this stuff and just be like, man, this is great. I mean, I'm blessed to be in that moment, to capture that, and then share it with everybody. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Dana saying, I make sure I'm not feeling well, or I turn off the switch and I don't feel, yeah, yeah. And that's a big thing to do. And that's why, majority of the time when I'm in public, I'm off. I mean, the switch is in the off position. You still notice energetic, things like, again, we talked about this before. You can tell when you get near somebody, without even seeing their face. Like it could, their back could be to you, and you could just kind of tell the energy. Now you can't shut that stuff up because that's just the energy that's they're pushing out, especially when it's negative, like they're upset or they're stressed. That's hard to like miss. But obviously you could walk away and then that's okay. Um, but as far as like having loved ones appearing in front of me and making themselves known, or getting messages from my guides, they know that it's, if I say I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it, and then there's a good respect to that. There's a good a good way of keeping the yourself in the best way possible, so that way you're not overwhelmed. I mean, because again, it's, I don't want to be doing all that stuff, because if I'm at my day job, it has nothing to do with holistic things, you know. And even though I have had experiences, I have the buildings do have spirits walking through, and once in a while I'll turn things on a little bit and check it out. Um, I have had the, spirits come up and tap me on the shoulder, but see, that can happen to anybody. Anybody that's into ghost hunting and paranormal research, uh, spirits will still come up to you and just, give you a little tap on the shoulder, or, you could feel that a crazy little cold spot that happens. And so, you can't avoid those. But it's one of those things that, it's better for me. And like I said, it went back to my shamanic, classes and things where, when you're ready to connect to your guides, you just did it. Now they're always there. And it only takes a couple breaths to really chat with them. You don't really have to go through a long process. Um, but it's nice to be able to do that. Tim saying, love the background, but you really could use a nice Mackinac Bridge in the background. Yeah. Well, Tim, I mean, at some point I'm going to make it to the UP. So, one of these years, I'm going to see the Mackinac Bridge in person, and just the UP in general. So I will get up that way, because I have not been above Traverse City. That is the farthest I've ever been. So I gotta make that jump, or I gotta really plan something for it. But sometimes the schedule doesn't always work in my favor, but that's okay. So, but yeah, so like I said, I just been, trying to ease back into things since I've been feeling a lot better. And like I said, those couple remote views this week, uh, gave me, I want to say confidence, but it just, it's like, it was kind of that nice refresher of like, all right, it wasn't a disaster, kind of thing. Like nothing was appearing, or I wasn't seeing anything, or, not that that would have frustrated me, because I know better, I mean, what you see, you feel, you hear, that's all. It happens when it happens when it needs to happen in those moments. Just like if I was to do a reading, whatever happens happens, and that's the same way. If I'm feeling amazingly, perfect, or even like this, just kind of getting back into the swing of things, it's okay. But yeah, I really just trying to, not do things, because it seems like, you know, I started off the year okay. I mean, I had some sessions, even had a gallery reading, and then it just like stopped dead. And it wasn't like I was solid, constantly busy, but it was weird that, and then it went into some upgrades for a few weeks, and then the mysterious illness of whatever it was taking me down for a couple of weeks. It's just weird that it was like, okay, you got a little bit in, now we need to shut you down for a little bit, kind of thing. And of course, it's a little frustrating, to some degree, because it's like, you just love what I love what I do. I love this stuff so much, to then, not be able to do it, and it kind of goes with like what I was saying earlier. I mean, it's that, you need to take care of yourself. And so there's clear messages, clear signs that you need to slow down, or you need to stop altogether. Because obviously there's a bigger reason for it, you know, because even then, that's why I said I try to be as close to 100% as I can whenever I'm doing any type of sessions or cases that I'm working on. Because you want your energy to be at its best, and especially doing like mediumship, or you're doing healing. You got to be on your game for those. You can't just, I mean, my bad word, try. And I know I've said try a few times today, but uh, but it's that try vibe to it, where it's like, you know, it's great if it works, or if it doesn't, that's okay. And so I just try not to think about those type of things. I just want to do what I love to do, and make people happy, or give them that sense of relief, depending on what, the session's for. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to keep doing that, and we'll keep pushing that way and have some fun with it. And I do know, I did want, because sometimes I forgot I didn't mention it last week, but the in a couple weeks on April 1st, I will not have a show. Um, I'm actually going to be at the Midwest Pear Fest, which is in Toledo, Ohio, for those that easier way of knowing where it's at. But I'll be there just as a normal guest. I actually, the beginning of this year, I helped did like one of those kickoff sponsors, because I've never really done it myself. I've never sponsored anything. I usually do vending, or I'm speaking or something like that. But um, I just thought I wanted to do that. I wanted to kind of have some fun with it. And uh, to me too, it's nice to not necessarily, hey Amy, it's nice to not necessarily be stuck at doing something. Not that anything's bad about it, but it is kind of nice to switch it up. I can basically walk around. I can talk to people. I don't have any agenda. Uh, I can go listen to all the speakers that day. That's the kind of fun thing of like, it's nice to switch it up, because everybody that's either done speaking or they do vending, a lot of times you don't get always that opportunity to hang out with a lot of the people that are around you. I mean, you may know the vendors to your left and right, um, but there's others that you might like, but they're across the room, or they're in another part of the location. And so it's funny, as we all talk about it, like as we're setting up, or just after the event if we have a chance. But everybody's just like, man, we got to hang out because we just don't have enough time. And yeah, Dana, that's gonna be cool. Yep. So yeah, it'll be nice to just kind of wander around. I am gonna have my daughter with me, so those that were at our old Mill Pear Fest, a lot of people got to meet her there. So she's going to be with me. I invited her to tag along, because I get a couple tickets because of the sponsorship. So I asked her if she wanted to go, and she had so much fun at our old mill. And so we're going to go have her hang out with me, and she'll see a lot of people that she knows. So that'll be great. Yep. Yeah, Jen. Yep. But yeah, it'll be fun to have her because she really did. She really had a good time at the old mill. And um, I'm curious to let her see what else, and meet more people and things like that. Yeah, Diane, I know she talked to you for for a while too. That was great. I appreciated that. I'm sitting there trying to do a little of everything, even during that party, and plus get cleaned up, because I was still very makeuped up on that. Yeah, Margaret, you hung out with her for a while too. Yep. So yeah, it was fun. And uh, and I funny enough, just real quickly, my daughter right now is not she is, but she isn't today per se, but she is essentially in New York City with the orchestra. They've today they got to New York City last night. They did get to go to Times Square for a little bit. Was okay. It wasn't too bad. I guess a lot of the partying was done earlier in the day, so uh, it wasn't as bad. When they were on Times Square getting food and just kind of looking around. Today is a lot of the orchestra stuff. So in fact, when I looked at the schedule, they were heading they were going to this university where they're going to do all these performances and things of that sort. So she's got that. And then later this late afternoon, they're gonna head back to or not well yeah yeah afternoon. They're gonna head to the 9/11 memorial, and then they're gonna have a late lunch. Yeah, so they're gonna okay. So all more. Sorry, the schedule's like, it's like so like crazy, but yeah, they're gonna do 9/11. I think, yeah, like around lunchtime, even though they're not eating lunch until about 2:30. And then after that, then they're going to be doing they got to get on buses. They're going to do, I don't know where it's at. I know it's obviously not in downtown part, but they're going to go to Medieval Times this evening, wherever that is. It's probably in New Jersey because that's where their hotel is too. So they're not actually staying downtown. So that'll be exciting for her to check things out, So performances all this morning because, like I said, they should have gotten there by now. So they'll start doing performances through that, and then head back to New York City, and then do all that stuff. And then I didn't see what tomorrow was bringing because I think she comes home Monday or Tuesday, something like that. But so yeah, so I have no daughter this weekend, so she's hanging out with a lot of her high school friends and doing some music stuff, which she loves to do. But yeah, so I can't wait. So April 1st. So I will keep reminding people of that there won't be a show that day. And like I said, if you're in the area, come hang out to the Midwest Pear Fest. You can look that up on Facebook and get your tickets and things like that. And yeah, I'll be there hanging out and checking, just hanging, like I said, it's kind of a nice break for a change to be able to just be able to walk and do. And I've done that a few times in the past where I just go to an event and just hang. And it's different. It feels weird, when you're so used to sitting behind a table, or you eventually get up and, or if you're speaking and do that. And it's such a weird switch to do all that. And then you change it up to where you're just hanging out. But I love it. I love the balance of it all. So yeah, if you're around, come hang out. So, oh, that's cool, Dinah. Yeah. No, that'd be great. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Rhonda, good morning. So yeah, Midwest Pear Fest in a few weeks, and I'll just be hanging out with my daughter there and um, get to see some great speakers. I mean, Jeff Belanger's there, so we're good friends. And speaking of Jeff, I don't know if you guys follow him on his social media and Facebook page. He did, I think it was last week or the week before. I think it might have been the week before. Jeff announced his new book. Um, and it's in pre-order status through Amazon. And in fact, if I get my mouse to work, let me get you, because I love the title of it, but and the only reason I'm talking about it is because I'm in the book. That's the special thing about it. 1 second. I'm just going to scroll through his page. That's not it. There it is. All right. Let me do this for you guys real quick because I can do that. I have the capabilities. Do this. Yes, I have technology. I should utilize it while I can. There. So there is, excuse me, there is his new book, The Fright Before Christmas and Surviving Krampus, as well as other Yuletide monsters. But yeah, I'm gonna be on a page or two, and supposedly have my photo in the book as well of my Krampus outfit. So it'll be kind of fun to check this book out. So I already put my order in to get my copy of it because I've got to check it out. Plus, Jeff's done presentations, which he usually does, in December and stuff, but he has a great presentation on a lot of the classic and scary mythological creatures, during the holidays and things that we don't think about, and obviously Krampus is one of them. But yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. And so yeah, if you guys are interested in grabbing this book or pre-ordering it, yeah, you can go to Amazon to snag it. So yeah, just look up The Fright Before Christmas, and yeah, it'll be a good time. So, all right, let me get that out of there. Cool. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how that book ends up turning out, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So not because I'm in it. It's just the fact that it's neat that he got to put this together. I mean, like I said, he's done the presentations. He did the year that we surprised him, which was there was 18, 19, 19, I think it was. And yeah, because it was right before the pandemic. But I spent a full year getting my outfit together and everything like that. And we were going to do it, but it was hilarious because even Tim will start laughing at this story. But I'll never forget it because like we talked about it before, but Tim, hey, I got to talk to you, and I'm like, yeah, give me a call, So Tim calls me up, and he's like, Jeff called, and I'm already freaking out because at this point I've got majority of the outfit, my whole setup ready to go. I'm just make find little tweaks here and there and stuff. And he goes, yeah, Jeff called, and again, my stomach dropped because I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent all this money on this outfit for the last year of trying to get this together. And he's like, so Jeff said he got asked by somebody that was going to be attending it, hey, are you, is there any chance that you could do your creepy Christmas presentation? And immediately when Tim tells me this on the phone, I mean, if we were doing I know, see, that's what Tim said. Yep. Eh, my reaction was because as soon as he said the creepy Christmas, presentation, I know what's in there. I mean, I've never seen him do it, but he's talked about it, on his social media pages, and I knew one of the key ones was going to be Krampus. So now Tim and I are just dying laughing, and we realize this is going to be we couldn't have set this up any better than this. So sure enough, and the videos are out there. So if you were to go to the Old Mill Parafest and you kind of go back into the files in the video files, you can actually see you could see the video of when I pop out and go after Jeff. So yeah, unbelievable timing, unbelievable moment, and so Jeff was beside himself. But yeah, it was really cool, and so yeah, it's always fun when you get to do neat things like that. But yeah, so yeah, check that book out. When it comes out later this summer, and yeah, it'll be a good time. So. Um, but anyway, I did want to talk because obviously, which is actually ironic because here it is that we're talking about mythological creatures and things like that. But I thought because of St. Patrick's Day yesterday, I thought maybe it can be fun to just touch on a few things that I didn't even know about. And as I said, I am going to butcher names horribly, but I thought it would be kind of fun to talk a little bit about, Irish mythological creatures and beings and things. And so I found a few of them that I thought would be, that are interesting. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at notes and things like that. But I thought, again, it was appropriate for, yesterday being, St. Patrick's Day. So actually, let me do this real quickly. Yep. It's funny when you, talk so much, it's like, but, and I was singing so much last night. So not that my throat hurts. It just, you can definitely tell it's strained a little bit, but anyway, I mean, we all know, I mean, whether you've seen, I've done it a few times on different things. And then obviously there's, so many other people that do shows and books and, mythological creatures. I mean, we know all the classics, the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Loch Ness monster, things of that sort. We know all about Mothman. And of course there's a lot, including like, which will be neat in Jeff's book too, is, there's a lot of stuff that don't get as much, attention. They don't get as much as the limelight, like some of them. And so there's obviously in a lot of the other countries and things, there's ones that we just don't hear of. And why is that? Who knows? I mean, it's just, but I think that's what's fun is like when you are fascinated on a topic and then you just go down that rabbit hole, so to speak, and then you start finding things, which is kind of what I want to do. Because I thought my main thing was going to be, well, let's just talk about leprechauns for a little bit. I thought they're kind of fun, classic, Irish, little fella, what I mean? And so I just thought, that's great. But then when I was looking at him, I didn't know about it, but it was interesting to see how many other things are going on and how many other deities and stuff that there was. And it was interesting is that, a lot of this, and I don't care what part of the world you're looking at, obviously there a lot of it was passed down, orally, because obviously there wasn't paper, there wasn't electronics to store, all the information that we can, read, and people obviously weren't writing books yet. And of course, you can get into some of the locations depending on where you're at. Maybe you can carve stuff in rocks, or even cave art and stuff, but a lot of that didn't happen for the longest time because they didn't have the proper, mixtures of things, or they didn't have the right tools to, do a lot of the carving and things. So, but again, that's, region specific and areas that, have those kind of materials that you can do that. But obviously over time we learned how to do that. But what I see though is in general, a lot of the times writing didn't happen until like the medieval era. So when paper was being created, obviously they knew how to make ink and stuff. Obviously they had stuff, for a long time about, do painting and stuff, um, especially like Native Americans and stuff. But with a lot of the traditions, what we find is it's difficult on how much is still true. Because do you guys ever remember like when you were younger? And I remember playing, I forget what the game's called, so maybe somebody can put it in the chat real quick. But do you remember the game where, or I don't know if was it Wisp? I don't know. Somebody over me. Anyway, I'll describe it. But do you remember, everybody would sit in a room, whether it's in a line or in a circle, and one person would start it. They would start a part of a story, whether it was something kind of, truthful or just making something up. And then what your job was is that each person, you had to say what the previous person said, and then you had to continue on with it. Again, I don't know if it was like the whisper game or something. Telephone. There you go, Dana. That's it. See, I knew somebody would know it. Telephone. But yeah, how funny you whispered. Yeah, and that's, if you think about it, how fascinating is it? Now, obviously, a handful of people isn't enough, but if you can get 8, 10, 12 people, if you get a big group, it is hilarious. When you get to the end and you and you hear when the final person has to say what was said, it is classic on how way off everything was, because obviously, you have to whisper it because you can't let everybody else hear. And I can't remember last week, right, Tim? But it's funny how you hear things, and sometimes it sounds differently, and obviously you're trying to listen, and so then you start trying to fit what you think was supposed to be there, and it changes. So again, luckily nowadays, especially once paper was created, we were able to document stuff a little bit better. But obviously, a lot of the mythological stories and that have passed down, who knows how much has dramatically changed. And again, that's worldly, but obviously there's some that stick around a little bit more because of the um and I'm going to say severity of it, because obviously, you know uh, uh, sometimes, obviously, those of us that have had children, sometimes you have to kind of do a little bit of the scaring to kind of get them to set them straight, kind of thing. And so you kind of put a little bit of scaredness in there, whether it's something evil or something, Krampus, for a lack of a better word, character, as far as scaring the bejesus out of out of kids, especially over in Europe, Austria and a little bit of Germany, where it's originated from. But the idea of trying to get the kids to not do bad things, I mean, everybody wants to have some fun, but obviously they put these characters out there and stuff. So who knows, you know we will probably never know, how much has changed from a lot of these characters anywhere. But I think it's fascinating that they still live on. They still have a presence, whether it's just for fun, entertainment. Obviously, there is creatures and of all sorts that people are seeing. They're seeing them now. We're not going to go down that path as far as uh, are they drinking? Are they on drugs? We're not going to go there, but but it's the whole thing is that there's some that are supposedly having these experiences. I mean, I've seen a couple unusual things that, it's like, wow, I mean, it doesn't mean it's 100% genuine, but it's more intriguing that then you can kind of dive into it more, just like a lot of this stuff. Leprechauns. I mean, are they real or are they not real? Is it just a story? Is it to scare people? Is it, I mean, because leprechauns are fun. I mean, and even then, I'll just read that, uh, it's, you know, well, interesting enough, because I've done this topic before. They're even, leprechauns are even classified as like a fairy. I mean, like I said, I've done a show on fairies before, which is a great topic. I love that. I'm hoping to get around to seeing more this summer, because I haven't been in the right places, but I have seen a couple here and there and a few things, but I just haven't had the time to really dive into it more, because again, being in the right areas, and then obviously since I've had a lot of connections with them, if they're there in a specific area, they'll pop out, and I get to hang out with them and see them. So hopefully I'll have some more chances this year. But again, very interested, that even leprechauns are even deemed as a fairy type of thing. But we all know them. They're always wearing they always have the big orange beard and everything. And supposedly that some of the stories around leprechauns themselves have shifted a little bit, like where they said, "Hey, Brittany, I hope you had a good birthday this week. I know it was a few days ago, and congratulations too." So, um, the I'm sorry, I'm just trying to read through a few things real quickly, but so yeah, but classic of a lot of creatures and figures of this sort. The likely of you seeing them is pretty rare. Just like, again, that kind of goes along with the whole fairy thing, is certain the fairies and a lot of the obviously other ones like leprechauns and things, they are, oh, you're welcome. To It's always, are they going to trust you? And I think that's where it comes in. um a lot of these mythological creatures, there's a big trust thing, because are you going to, what is your true intention? Now they can see through you easily, and they can tell what your heart, what your soul is all about. And so to have the privilege of them to appear to you, obviously is a blessing. Now you can obviously set the intentions for that, just like everything else in life, regardless. Doesn't have to be any of this type of things. It could be just a better job, happier life, that kind of thing. You can put those intentions out there. But just like this stuff, if you really want to see it, you have to start it. So by saying, "Hey, I want to see a leprechaun," I mean, I'm just saying, but even then, put it as more like fairies, late entries, but everyone around, yeah. Um, uh, I mean, I'm constantly putting intentions out there for these things, and just like fairies and things, I wanted to open my heart to them, because I knew that I could work with them, because they are part of the land, and the whole shamanic lifestyle. It's just being at one with nature and things. Hey, Lindsay, good morning. And so I love being able to do that, where I can open myself up and have those experiences with, these type of beings and creatures and things. And so, and even then, dealing with elementals and things like that, even though they're not of a human form at any point, they do certainly appear that way. I've seen them, even look a little bit more creepy and scary, but that's okay too. It's still the point of just being energetically in those spaces, to be willing to communicate and not create a situation on a negative side, even if, like, say, elementals can be a little bit of an issue to deal with. And I've dealt with my share, and I don't know how I really ever got down that path of dealing with them, but I think it was kind of a calling at one point, and it was being in those moments and having those experiences, and um, knowing that I can be with them and not be afraid, which I think frustrates some of them. Some of them, not all of them. The really nasty ones could get a little frustrated, knowing that it doesn't bother me and they can't affect me like they do others, because I've been in locations where an elemental was causing havoc to people, and you could see it. You can literally see they don't look right. And then I kind of, just stand my ground, and that kind of ticks them off. So, but again, the aspect of wanting to see more of these type of things, set it out, but make sure that, you're in the right place when you set that intention. So fairies, or like I said, I'm talking about leprechauns. you know, put it out there. Now I haven't seen a leprechaun per se. Um, Fairies, yes, but I have not seen a leprechaun. I'm open to it. If he wanted to show himself around, great. I'm in. But it's okay. I'm not going to be, boo-hooing if I don't get a chance to. I mean, it's not like one of those things that you can say, I'm going to put this on my bucket list. Just like, yeah, I want to see Loch Ness. I want to see Nessie. I'm not, I'm not going to go there because I mean, I would love to go to that lake, and I'm just, shooting around a little bit, but I'd love to go to the lake just to see the lake. I mean, because it's got so much history to it that even if there really isn't a Loch Ness monster in there, just to be there, just to be in those moments. Hey, Angel. And so that's what excites me more is just sometimes, being on a lot of paranormal cases over the years, being in the location, I get excited over, So that's what I look at is you got to know how to look for the good stuff and don't whether if it is a paranormal case or you're looking for a mythological creature, you can't get upset. It's just wasn't the right time or wasn't meant to be. But you know what? You got to have fun with it. And I think that's what's great about all this stuff is just going out there. Maybe you're by yourself, maybe you're with some other friends that are curious or they're into it too. But you guys get to hang out. You get to get away from the 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 routines of life that we have to live. You're waking up, you go to work, you come home, eat, and family stuff, depending on what your situation is, but you get to kind of get away from all that for a short time, whether it's a day or a weekend or a week or something. And so, hey, Allie, well, thank you for joining. I know I have a few Aussies that pop in from time to time. So I always appreciate it because I know it's late for you right now. So I do appreciate you staying up so late. Uh, but, um, uh, but yeah, thank you. All right, Jen, you have a great day at work. Have a good weekend. But yeah, so like, so obviously leprechauns, they like I said, I went around a little bit, but yeah, they're a little bit of fun and the whole aspect of bringing luck and stuff. But I mean, they've even deemed that some of these leprechauns, were more so on the drinking side of things, where it was kind of that fascinating. Because I said, what was it? Which one was it? Dun, dun, dun. I was it this one? I'm just trying to read real quickly. Yeah, so okay. So here's one of these that I cannot say. So if I ever have somebody from Ireland and stuff that check out the show and stuff like that, you can definitely help me pronounce these because whoo. So I'm gonna try it as best I can to sound this out. But see, this might be one of the reasons why sometimes we don't hear of these type of beings, creatures, deities, gods, because it's just sometimes we can't say the names themselves. But I'm going to give this one a shot. But you know what? Let's just do this. I'm going to actually show the name. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show the name. Okay, I got to do this real quickly. Maybe that'll be easier. Maybe I can get myself out of it, being in trouble if I just show the name and I won't get into trouble. Not that I would be. Not everybody can say that the names and stuff, making you do crazy things. Ask Jeff. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm going to show you this name again. Kind of, I then I'll try to say it. But here we go. Here we go. Yeah, try to say this. Wait a minute. Yeah. Clurichan. I'm going to go with that. That's my attempt. Clurichan. I'm just trying. I'm trying. But this is the one they're saying is more of what they believe like the leprechauns were. And you can kind of see it real quickly over here. Loves drinking and tendency to haunt breweries, pubs, and wine cellars. I mean, how fun is that? How is that spelled? That's what I was saying. Yeah, Clurichaun. So I mean, I'm trying to do it a classic, sounding each letter out type of thing. Okay. It is kind of small, but that's what I was hoping everybody could see it up here at the top. But that's why I think it's Clurichaun, but that's just my guess. But again, I'm not, not Irish, so I wouldn't know 100%. But so yeah, but like this was saying, it's hilarious with being more of a drinker, which I wonder, and I'm not going to go down through all of the, down below and read anything else, but let's see, wait, right here. Yeah, he's saying described as a little man, 6 inches in height, with a face withered. Let's see, withered. Oh, face that like a withered apple. His twinkling eyes and nose and red and purple. His eyes and nose are red and purple from heavy drinking. He wears a red nightcap, a short leather apron, light blue stockings, shoes, and large silver buckles. When he discovered by the master of the house, they talk him out of moving elsewhere by implying he would simply move with him. Wow, that's hilarious. So, oh, Allie, okay, my grandfather, as I was just listening to a few of his favorite songs, got an overwhelming feeling from him. I looked at the time here and it was 11 a.m. and then I ended up here randomly. There you go. I love when that happens, just sometimes it just works out, that's spirits when they move and do that kind of thing. I love that. So, but yeah, so I mean that, like I said, that was kind of interesting, but only 6 inches, or 150 millimeters for any of my Europe and ones that don't do our thing. Cluricon. Okay, well, look at Tim go. He's got me the phonetic way of doing it, according to Google. Cluricon. Okay, well, and I could get that. I can understand because I know that some of the Irish and Gaelic uh way of speaking isn't exactly how it would look. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for that, Tim. It's a Cluricon. I get that. Okay. That makes more sense. I was saying Chon, I should have realized the H was more silent. So, but again, I don't really get to read a lot of Irish stuff, so I know that their letters are different. But I'm always fascinated with it. I love Irish and Scottish history and stuff. I mean, I'm not great at it, but I love looking at it. And anytime I get a sampling of it, or get to read something, or hear a story, or watch a documentary on those countries, I'm in. I love it. So, but yeah, no, that's a kind of a fascinating thing. And then there was this other one. Is that the right one? Let's see. I'm just reading for the. See, this one's kind of similar. See, it's funny is they have a few of them, and now it doesn't really say if they're specific to regions or different parts of Ireland and stuff. But this one they're saying is the Ferdig, the Ferdag. And so they're saying he's same thing, wearing similar items like the last one, but this one's hilarious. I'm going to read it verbatim here because I think you guys are going to laugh your tails off. But saying, okay, again, wearing a red coat, cap, okay. They're saying they're more like rats in a way. They have dark, hairy skin, long snouts, and skinny tails. Okay, same thing, still kind of that solitary fairy aspect of it, but they're saying this is great. Oh, Sharon, have a good one. You have a great weekend. But they're saying that they're all of whom are more sluttish, slouching, jeering, mischievous phantoms. I'm sorry, but if I'm having something that looks kind of like a rat, I'm not really getting excited over that. More sluttish. I could only imagine a rat just coming up to you and just being like, "Hey," I can't see that. You see him all like propped up and he's looking at you. Hey, Della, it's okay. It's all good. But I can't see this. I mean, mentally I'm seeing it, but I don't want to see it. But I just seeing this. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, we've all seen images, the classic, rats that we see like in the big cities and things, but some of them look like freaking dogs, how big they are. Exactly. How you doing? You can see him. He's all propped up. How you doing? Really? So yeah, so actually, that's what's great. That's why I love when you go down these paths and just see some of these characters that that you talk about, and to see what they're kind of described as or what they're known for. It just, I love it because it's just like to see. Well, again, sometimes these names just don't. We don't understand them, so we just kind of move on because we don't know. And I get it. I mean, you know the way words are, the way they're spelled, and what their meanings are, and things like that. I get it. So the rat here in St. Joseph is huge. Yeah, yeah. They offer you a good time for some cheese, right? Exactly, right. Woo! I'm telling you, man. I just that is insane. But when who yeah, but oh well, even funnier. So even kind of goes along with like Tim and Debbie there. It does say this Fodder Dig, is in the practical joking category is something that it likes to do. So, obviously, yeah, if it stood up and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You got some cheese?" Yeah, right. Della never thought of rat here in Midwest is that I mean, I would, it's got to be the area. It's obviously got to be where food is prevalent, because obviously if there wasn't a lot of food, they wouldn't be eating as much, and growing to, epic proportions and things. But hey, anyway, I think it's hilarious and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's like I said, there's a couple interesting things that are similar, but they got different, attributes. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, or just, things that they're into. But so, but that's the thing. That's the fun thing about some of this. I mean, you could spend hours and hours and hours of going through countries and learning about all these different, characters, so to speak. And I'm going to say characters because it really kind of happens that way. They came out of abandoned homes. Wow. And it's like, where are they getting all that food that's there then? Because obviously if they're abandoned, they're not going to have much food for very long. I get the sheltering aspect of it, um, but yeah, I mean, we're almost out of time. So there was a couple other like more supernatural beings that they were talking about. This other one, Tutha Di Danan, supernatural being. It's a goddess, and can be a male too, in as well. But problem is some of they I remember reading a little bit of this, that some of this particular character or being, some of the when the writing started happening, some of the Christian that were documenting this stuff put twist in it or put their flair on it with a uh religious aspect to it, so to maybe not make it as scary or something like that. So they're all from the island, off island. Oh, okay, cool, Debbie, gotcha. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, um, but yeah, that it's kind of wild. But like I said, there's a few like that. And what was the other one? This other one again, terrible at can't saying it, but this Fomorians, I think that's it. They're another supernatural race. This one's a little bit more hostile and monstrous. Let's see, they said that they possibly came from under the sea or earth. I'm like, well, that's all insane. Um, but a lot of but they think some of these particular ones were probably more from the Viking era because of the fact that the Vikings were always on the water, doing raids and things of that stuff. Della, I mean, I'm at 9:30 Eastern time is when I start. So I started 9:30 Eastern and then run till 10:30, right, in about 1 minute. So yeah, I try to keep it the same because I don't like we change with the time, but yeah, I try to keep it the same because I don't want to be too early and then I don't want to be too late. I like it being right where it's at because then people can go on and still have finishing up their morning breakfast before they maybe go out during the day and stuff. Oh, okay, 8:30. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I forget where I forget that. I knew you're out west a little bit, so I forgot that. Yeah, so it would be 8:30 your time. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, so yeah, like I said, we can go down, like I said, there's tons of stuff, but I just saw a couple of them that popped up and I wanted to talk about them for a little bit, with yesterday being St. Patrick's Day and stuff. So yeah, uh it was cool. It's cool, like I said, you guys could dig this stuff up, push, type in Irish, mythological if you're bored today or you're not doing anything and you want to look at some of the other stuff or read more of the descriptions of some of these. And then you'll go down this rabbit hole of stuff and be like blown away by it. So but yeah, so hopefully that was fun, a little something different. But yeah, I was trying to incorporate it with the holiday that we just had. So but other than that, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. And let you guys have your rest of your weekend, your Saturday. Gonna work on a few things. Uh, well, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I still want to do it because I talked about it last week. I'm from Irish. I forgot of the village. Yeah. Um, I I still want to work on things. I'm trying to write down some stuff to get. I talked about last week real quickly. I was going to attempt to do a vlog of some sort of showing something of me, kind of a typical day, so to speak, or whatever I got going on. I know it might be fun for me to even try to do one before I go to Midwest Pear Fest because it'd be fun to do a little bit of vlogging when I'm at the Midwest Pear Fest in a few weeks. That might be fun to kind of have, if anybody's going to be there and wants to be on camera for a second, we could just be like, hey, got people that I know and we can hang out and stuff. So yeah, that might be kind of hilarious. So yeah, uh, if you're interested and be curious and we talk a few minutes on camera and stuff like that, it'll be kind of a cool moment of me running around and just talking to all my friends and things. So yeah, Midwest Della, the Midwest Parafest is in Toledo, Ohio, and it's on April 1st. So I know it's a little bit of a hike for you, but that's on April 1st in Toledo, Ohio. And if you go to stay on Facebook, you can look up Midwest Pear Fest and you can see details and information about it. I'm just going to hang out. I helped do a sponsor for it. So yeah, I'm just going to be hanging and having a good time. So, but yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. You would. But other than that, I'm going to be scheduling more things and stuff. I'm trying to get back into the swing of stuff. A lot of stuff locally. You know, I'll be, getting into a couple more, some of the shops I was working at last year. I'm going to try to get into those. So I got to get some dates to them to when I'm available. So a lot more things. Going to start, getting ready for doing some galleries and things this year. So if you're interested, we can talk about that. But other than that, yeah, let's have a great day, great weekend, and yeah, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and yeah, so happy late St. Patrick's Day to all of you. And if you're still continuing to partying, I know a few people are still going out tonight. So have a good time, be safe. And yeah, look for more posts from me as always. I love you guys. Yeah. Nikki, have a great weekend. Dinah, have a good weekend. I'm going back to Massachusetts. I love the state. Yeah, that'd be cool, Della. You'll have a good time. Yeah, you made it right at the end. Nice job, Dad. So, but right. Yeah, I'm going to okay, I was like, happy St. Patrick. Yeah, Della. But right, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys enjoy your weekend. And again, thank you so much. So you guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again. Dana, be safe tonight. And as always, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care. We'll see you soon.